Change quickly and can be hazardous. Listen to News Talk 1250 KBRF for the latest weather-related postponements and cancellations. Brought to you by Buyer Towing and Transport, Northwest Tire, and Ugstead Plumbing and Heating. Schools, businesses, churches, and events. You can find postponements and cancellations on KBRFradio.com and the Fergus Now app. Weather-related announcements brought to you by Ugstead Plumbing and Heating, Northwest Tire, and Buyer Towing and Transport.
It's Morning Talk on News Talk 1250 KBRF, brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. Now, here's Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop.
Good Monday morning. It is 10 after 9 and a nice chilly 23 below wind chill, Mary.
Whoa. I knew it felt cold out there. Maybe not that cold, but this is nothing to where we're going to go.
It's chilly.
It's going to be cold. And if you look ahead at the 10-day forecast, which you think in 10 days this has got to get better, it actually does not.
It does not.
No.
It's very, very cold, and it's chilly, and it's one of those days where it's just nasty.
I know. Well, anyway, I guess we got to take what we get and do the best we can and hope the next 10 days go really fast because it is awful, awful chilly. Hey, just wanted to tell you that an update on the pen situation.
Are they?
Down to 2.
How?
I had 9 the other day, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, and down to 2.
That was Thursday.
Oh, but I got a screw instead.
Wow.
I know, replaced a pen with a screw. Not exactly sure what that's all about, or where it came from. So if I drop out of sight, it likely is from my chair or something. But yeah, down to 2 pens from 9. So I'm just telling you how quickly pens can go around here.
I'm gonna blame Jacob. Jacob was filming the podcast in there. And
Okay, should we blame him? I gotta have
like
somebody to blame.
Either that or Chuck. Chuck's good to blame too.
Okay, well, I don't know. I'm gonna start hiding him again because I'm down to 2.
Or could be Craig Olson. Craig was in there on a Saturday for our video stream of the.
Or how about
KBRF.
last week? Didn't we have? Wasn't there a chamber show maybe?
That was after.
And there were a
Morning
lot
Talk.
of people, so
Yes.
if everyone needed a pen, that's where they went.
But Lisa normally has her own pens.
I'm teasing, but it is kind of funny to go from
It is
0 pens to 9, and now I'm back to 2. So ongoing battle here. So just thought I would give you the update. Well, what'd you think? Last night, Super Bowl. Do you know
wow,
what?
it was ugly.
Do you know what? I never even turned it on.
Consider yourself lucky.
I did not. I did, however, get sucked into a group text. So I didn't really need the game.
Okay.
33 texts later.
Wow.
Yeah, notifications went off immediately. Yeah, you know how I love a group text. But anyway, that every once in a while I would just check and see what was going on. But yeah, okay, so not a great game, not at all.
It was ugly. Between the three of us, you, Derek, and myself, Derek won because he actually had the Eagles winning it.
Right, he picked the right team, and they're saying that Patrick Mahomes picked a really, really rotten time to have maybe one of the worst games of his career.
I really wish they would have let.
Was it him or
Carson,
was it? I mean, clearly it's never one guy, but
it was that offensive line not showing up.
Right. A lot of sacks.
Sacks.
I just did some, I did some digging this morning to find out what happened since I didn't watch it.
They were sacking and rushing him and, kind of pressuring him without even blitzing. That's how bad their offensive line was.
Wow. Well, anyway, had just 33 passing yards in the first half. No score in the first half for them, right?
No.
And the lowest of his career, despite 3 touchdowns in the second half. It was just one of those too little, too late deals. Kansas City Chiefs were blown away, if you haven't seen the score, 40-22. Now, I had the Chiefs winning, and I think I was 35-21.
35-21. I had the Chiefs winning 24-21. Derek had the Eagles winning 38-32.
Okay, so he certainly a lot closer than you and I. At least he had the right team, right?
He had the right team winning.
Yeah. Well, the Eagles were able to sack Mahomes 6 times, pick him off twice, including a pick six, and throw him completely off his game. So, yeah, it was
He looked awful.
yeah. He did say this after the game. Appreciate all of the love and support from Chiefs Kingdom. I let y'all down today. He posted on X after the game. I will always continue to work and try to learn and be better for it. Want to give thanks to God for every opportunity that He has given me. So he says this, we will be back. So classy.
Yep.
Classy like he always is, it seems.
And when the game kind of lays an egg, there's only one hope, and that is the commercials and the halftime show. The halftime show was awful.
The halftime show was awful. Awful, awful. I rewatched part of it this morning. I didn't get very far into it, and I thought, enough of that. And again, it was one of those, we're going to get a message across if it's the last thing we do, and he's up against some other rapper for something, who knows what. But he played the song that attacked this other rapper, and oh my goodness, just get a grip, folks, and do something nice. Do something.
Yeah.
This is like the biggest game, in America almost, and
What is the biggest game in America?
Make it American then. Make it. Yeah. What'd you think of the national anthem?
I thought it was okay until the end.
I'm making a face.
I thought it was okay until
the end. I agree. When he repeated that line.
Kept repeating it over and over and over and over again. It's like he wants to make sure we go over the 90 seconds for all those people making a bet.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, it was decent until the very end where he kept repeating himself over and over. And I'm like, okay, this gets old.
Yeah, Land of the Free. Yeah. Anyway, it was like meh for me.
Yeah.
Sometimes we've had some fabulous, national anthems. This was not one I didn't think.
No.
Ads. I saw the top 3 today, and the one that I had been talking about last week came in number 1.
And what was that?
And I don't know who was voting. I don't know where the votes
which
came
ad
from.
was that?
The Budweiser ad with the horse rolling. I thought it was cute.
I thought it was okay, but I think it was like overly sappy.
I think it was good, and I think it was clever. And you know what? I feel like in today's climate, I feel like we need some sap. I think we need some good stuff.
In today's climate, you need my number 1, and that was definitely the Little Caesars with Eugene Levy's eyebrows.
Yeah.
His eyebrows fly off, and little fuzzy worms start worshiping them, and they fly off everywhere. They mustache for a baby, and it was.
There was another one that I think you will call sappy, but it was the little farmer girl.
Oh, with the potato,
with the potato, yeah, it was a Lay's ad.
Yeah,
and you expect Lay's to have like a funny, clever, creative, goofy ad, but this one I thought it was nice, and it was a hats off to farmers everywhere, and this cute little girl, couldn't help but love her. That one was good. How about the pickleball ad? Did you like that one?
The pickleball ad.
That was pretty funny.
I can never remember her name. William Dafoe and is it Christine O'Hara or something like that?
Something like that. Yep.
Yeah, she was, obviously the mom in Home Alone, and she's also in Beetlejuice.
Right.
So I did like that one. I thought that one was clever.
Pretty good.
But the other good one I really liked, Doritos brought it as always with the aliens coming to steal his Doritos.
Okay, I did not see the Doritos ad.
He's fighting off the aliens for Doritos. They grab a little tractor beam. He's holding onto it. They smash him around his room, and then he lets go, and it blows up the flying saucer. And so at the end, he's sitting there talking to the alien. He goes, Doritos. Doritos.
Okay.
And so, it was.
I didn't see that one.
I thought that one was fun. It was definitely a Doritos ad in the vein of Doritos ad.
Now, normally I would have gone back and forth to what I was actually watching something on Netflix, and normally I would go back and forth and just check on the game and watch a little bit here, a little bit there.
It wasn't worth watching.
Well, here's what's going on at my house. On one TV, the remote does not work well. And so I leave it on the same channel because that's the channel I watch the most in the morning. And if I stray from that channel, I may never get it back. And I just haven't had a chance to have that fixed or get a new remote. So it's either that or Netflix.
I say, Mary, there's several places in town here that sell universal remotes.
Well, I just, all I have to do is call Dish and they'll send me another one. But I just, to get on the horn with Dish that will challenge your patience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. And so I just haven't cared enough. And so I was unable to go back and forth. And so for that reason, I just thought, don't really have a horse in this race, don't really care. And I knew what the halftime show was going to be, and I have zero interest in rap or it was awful. It was awful. And that is not music. That is not singing. I don't care what anybody says. Anyone can talk through a song. And if that's what rap is, well, good for you. I don't like rap.
I'm kind of curious what everybody else thought was their favorite commercial. You can text us 321-1926, 218-321-1926. Text us what your very favorite commercial was, and did the commercials live up to the hype? Obviously, the game did not live up to the hype.
No.
Game was
in
bad.
fact, it was bad, and because everyone thought that this was going to be a barn burner, that it was going to come down to the last seconds. Don't you think?
I didn't know if it was going to come. I knew it was going to be one of two ways. It was either going to be a Eagles blowout or a close Kansas City, because the Eagles defense is so good, and they proved it.
And
they're the number one defense.
For sure.
And Kansas City's offense has kind of been sputtering. The thing I did find disappointing was that they didn't let Carson Wentz go out and take a couple snaps in garbage time.
Yeah, why didn't they?
Mahomes just wanted his numbers up, I'm guessing.
I suppose.
Less embarrassing. They threw a 60-yard touchdown pass at the end, and Jen's like, why? Why couldn't they do this all game? I'm like, well, because you've got Kansas City starters against the third string of the Eagles.
True.
That's not their starting lineup out there.
Very true. Well, anyway, a disappointing game for sure. So hopefully you had a lot of wings, and because that would have kept you happy throughout the game. Let's see a couple of news stories that we can tell you about. Of course, Doge has been in the news for a very long time now. Getting rid of people and saving money all over the place. And the Department of Health and Human Services is one of those that got a bunch of stuff canceled. They canceled more than $180 million in contracts over 48 hours. So just 2 days, including a nearly $170,000 contract for an Anthony Fauci museum exhibit. So there's $170,000 right there. In the past 48 hours, they canceled 62 contracts worth $182 million. The Department of Government Efficiency, known as DOGE, announced in a Friday social media post. These contracts were entirely for administrative expenses. None touched any health care programs. This included terminating a $168,000 contract for an exhibit at the National Institute of Health Museum for Anthony Fauci.
Yeah, I can't believe that they were going to think that was going to get through.
Yeah, well, the news comes as Doge, led by, of course, Elon Musk, has continued to outline vast changes in government spending over the last few weeks, including a plan to eliminate the United States for International Development, USAID, and sweeping changes at the U.S. Treasury Department aimed at eliminating over $100 billion per year, in entitlement payments to individuals with no Social Security numbers.
Wow, imagine that.
How about that? Seemingly, no federal agency has been excluded from the reach of DOGE, with HHS being just the latest in a string of targets, which I think they were all just sitting back waiting for. The Fauci exhibit was booked to be finished in July of 25, but now has been scrapped altogether, with $182 million in other HHS administrative expenses. Fauci has long been a controversial figure and has often clashed with President Donald Trump, who last month revoked the taxpayer-funded security detail for the former director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases that was requested for him in 2020. So why does a guy like that need a security detail?
Because he lied to everybody and he got caught?
Perhaps. Anyway, he became, of course, as we all can never forget, the government's public spokesperson during the COVID-19 pandemic. Anyway, I think, when you work for the government, at some point, your security detail comes off. And, you can't have them forever, Trump said of the move. He took some of the other people too, but you can't have a security detail for the rest of your life just because you worked for the government. So
exactly,
Anthony Fauci no longer being, protected by that security detail.
And we did have somebody text in, again, 321-1926, 321-1926, if you want to share what you thought was the best commercial. Somebody texted in that the stream or the signal she was watching, they cut off the end of the Budweiser thing, so she didn't get to see the sweet ending.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
That's too bad.
well, go online and do a search for it. You'll be able to see it because it really is cute. Let's see. There's so many things being slashed. Every story I look through here today is about how something else is being cut.
It's a President's Day sale. All things must go.
Yes, yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of crazy stories in the news, and of course, National Security Advisor is in the news as well. Mike Waltz told Meet the Press on Sunday. Don't know if you saw this. I don't think there are plans to invade Canada, he says.
I'd like to think that there's no plans to invade Canada, because that would be a bad idea.
It would. This is in response to Prime Minister Trudeau's expressing concern over President Trump's recent annexation comments. Doesn't everyone know President Trump well enough by now to know that some of the off-the-cuff stuff he says is
just dumb,
is just ridiculous, and it's just him kind of blowing steam. But anyway, during his pre-Super Bowl interview, Trump confirmed that he's serious, saying Canada would be much better off being our 51st state.
Oh, that's just, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, anyway, we'll see how that goes. New York Governor Kathy Hochul ordered the temporary closure of live poultry markets in New York City's outer boroughs due to the bird flu presence. Now, that is one of the reasons that they are saying that the price of eggs has skyrocketed.
Yeah.
I also saw something this morning that suggested there are other reasons for it too. Just cold affects how much hens are laying. They are using these birds for longer, so they're older, therefore producing less. And just daylight makes a difference for them too. So we have shorter days. So all of those things together making for some very expensive eggs. All right, we'll talk about Saturday Night Live, celebrating 50 years when we come back on Morning Talk.
Back with more Morning Talk with Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop. Brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. After the markets on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Depend on it.
What's the ox say?
Today on Hot Talk with the Ox, the big game is over and winter begins, right? The Democrats are back to work, so what? But all eyes on Elon Musk, right? And Trump's big weekend at Mar-a-Lago. Hear the news from the weekend and what's unfolding at the moment. But right away, test your recall of last week's shows on Heard It on Hot Talk. The Gottwalt is in for the Ox for Hot Talk with the Ox today from 2 to 5 on KBRF.
What's the ox say?
Tired of working with digital marketing agencies 1,000 miles away who don't get your community? At Leighton Engage, we keep it local. Real strategists, real people, right here. With a deep understanding of your community, we create campaigns that truly resonate. We pair you with a dedicated local strategist who knows your market and audience inside and out. Tailored solutions, real results, marketing that works.
Leighton Engage. Find your focus.
Winter weather can change quickly and can be hazardous. Listen to News Talk 1250 KBRF for the latest weather-related postponements and cancellations. Brought to you by Buyer Towing and Transport, Northwest Tire, and Ugsted Plumbing and Heating. Schools, businesses, churches, and events. You can find postponements and cancellations on KBRFradio.com and the Fergus Now app. Weather-related announcements brought to you by Ugsted Plumbing and Heating, Northwest Tire, and Buyer Towing and Transport.
Unique farming operations need unique financial solutions. Ag Country Farm Credit Services offers customized financing that fits any size farm, ranch, or agribusiness. The next time you're in the market for more land, equipment, facilities, or maybe even an operating loan, contact the team at Ag Country. They know agriculture and will work for you. Ag Country. Focused on ag, focused on you. Ag Country is an equal opportunity lender.
Markets this hour brought to you by Ag Country Farm Credit Services, a customer-owned cooperative.
Good morning, market update on the Red River Farm Network. I'm Randy Conan. Grain markets continue to trade mixed here this morning. We started off pretty quiet and are seeing a fairly quiet trade here at the moment. Right now, corn a couple of pennies higher, soybeans a fraction lower. Wheat been the biggest mover here so far. We're now down anywhere from a half cent to about 5 cents here, depending on which grade of wheat you're looking at. Loan and Associates analyst Matt Hines says traders kind of taking a wait-and-see approach to this market today.
Mixed in the grains, not very eventful overnight, actually. We're steady. We kind of traded both sides. I think right now it's kind of a wait-and-see approach. Of course, looking for President Trump to announce a 25% tariff on steel and aluminum imports. It's bringing back some concern. Maybe we'll see some retaliatory grain and oilseed tariffs from other countries. Of course, it's also the day before the crop report. February is not typically a big one, but we do have updates on supply and demand here domestically and on the world balance sheet.
Livestock market seeing a bit of short covering now after last week's sell-off.
Steady to higher here at the open, and adding to that as the morning progresses, both for live and feeder cattle. Of course, had a heck of a hit last week. Feeders down over $10, both March and April. Live cattle down anywhere from $3 to $5+. Couple big days lower really was the push there. Cash feedlot trade was steady to 5 lower, 205, 208 live, and 328 on most of the dress trade.
You're listening to the Red River Farm Network.
You're protected and appreciated. Irie Insurance.
Hi, this is Bethany Rentz, crop insurance agent with Irie Insurance. We've been protecting revenue and preserving equity for over 40 years. We provide a breakdown for farm programs such as the Farm Bill and Farm Safety Net. Partner with us to choose the right insurance coverage for your farm. Call us today to meet with an Irie Insurance agent to make your 2025 crop insurance selections prior to March 15th. Visit IrieINS.com. Irie Insurance is an equal opportunity provider.
You can plant corn successfully in 40-degree soils. I'm Darren Hefty with Hefty Seed Company. Our 40 Series corn is designed to perform in the cold, but there are still some guidelines to follow. First, plant after the first crop insurance date and plant into dry soils. Planting early also means your seed will be exposed to harsh conditions and more pests for a longer time. That's why all 40 Series corn is treated with Hefty Complete, which is loaded with performance-enhancing fungicides, insecticides, and biologicals. Talk to your Hefty agronomist today.
I'm Mark Oppold with an American Agriculture History Minute brought to you by Quick Shot from Helena. Improve yields without changing a single step with Quick Shot, a full nutrient package in one ultimate planter box treatment. Visit HelenaAgra.com. Wheat production grew as new railroads connected farms and markets, and between 1875 and 1890, bonanza farms, as they were called, were created, especially in the Red River Valley. They were funded by rich businessmen from the East. Wheat farms covered thousands of acres, hundreds of horses used, and huge teams of farmhands and machinery. Eventually, bonanza farms produced so much wheat there was a surplus. Wheat was no longer profitable. Many bonanza farms were divided and sold, making for smaller family farms once again. That's today's American Agriculture History Minute. I'm Mark Oppold.
March wheat, Minneapolis, down 2 cents, $6.25 3/4. Chicago March wheat's down 6. Kansas City down 5 cents. March corn's a penny and a half higher, 4.89. December's up 1 3/4 at 4.67 3/4. March soybeans down a penny and 3/4, 10.47 3/4. New crop November down 2.5, 10.55. March canola 3.60 a metric ton, 6.60.40 Canadian. February live cattle $1.32 higher, 202.10. April's up $1.55. March feeder cattle $1.77 higher at 266.70. April's up $1.67. February lean hogs 15 cents higher at 87.40. April's up 22 cents. This is the Red River Farm Network.
You don't need injections to lose weight, I promise. The FDA is even sending out warnings cautioning people to stop. Emergency room visits are spiraling upward. People are getting sick, with some of them ending up in a hospital and getting surgery. Shots are not a good idea. What you need is a diet that works, and Plan Z is your natural alternative. The ZR50 Crave Control Spray is patented, all natural, and gives you everything you need to stick to a diet. No drugs, no hormones, and it's fast. Losing 31 pounds in just 50 days is pretty impressive. We give you tasty recipes to give you satisfaction from eating. The shots cut your appetite and even your interest in food. That's not healthy. What you need is real food, good food, and you need to learn how to keep the weight off once it's gone. Plan Z is all that, and it sure is a lot less expensive than injections. Check out planzdiet.com because you deserve a better diet. planzdiet.com.
Tired of working with digital marketing agencies 1,000 miles away who don't get your community? At Leighton Engage, we keep it local. Real strategists, real people, right here. With a deep understanding of your community, we create campaigns that truly resonate. We pair you with a dedicated local strategist who knows your market and audience inside and out. Tailored solutions, real results, marketing that works.
Leighton Engage. Find your focus.
When you're considering a memorial to commemorate a loved one, you'll likely have questions, and that's why I'm here. I'm Jessica with the Fergus Falls Monument Company, the person you'll probably see or talk to when you come in or call. I'm here to help answer your questions, and I'll show you where your memorial at Fergus Falls Monument is designed and created, right here locally, because that matters. When you're ready to consider a memorial, call or visit us online at Fergus Falls Monument Company. Memorials that matter.
Community is important, and you'll find it at Pioneer Point. Spacious apartments, thoughtfully designed for older adults, provide the best in senior living. Heated parking and elevator access makes life easy. Your neighbors at Pioneer Point hold a welcoming, family-like approach to living. Choosing from an array of special features and options, you'll find many ways to define your lifestyle at Pioneer Point. Call or schedule your tour online today at pioneercare.org.
It's News Talk 1250 KBRF. Listen anytime, any place with the Fergus Now app on your phone. It is 9:37, and one of my favorite segments of the week. It is now time for Two Marys and a Dave.
And we say good morning to the other Mary. Good morning, Mary, out at the American Legion. How are you today?
I'm well, thanks, guys. How are you?
Well, we're good. We're good. And we got through the Super Bowl, and I'm sure there were a lot of people who were munching on some of those great ribs yesterday and all kinds of good stuff I'm sure that they got from you guys. But what's cooking out there today?
Well, we're gearing up for Valentine's Day, and we're going to celebrate Valentine's Day all week long. So
Great.
Starting on Wednesday through Saturday, we're going to have a Valentine's Day special throughout the week. It's 2 rib and shrimp baskets with choice of potatoes, 2 salads of your choice, and 2 desserts of your choice.
Wow.
So you can dine in or carry out, and if you need a Valentine's special for just one, we can make that work too. So
Okay.
you don't have to be a couple to celebrate Valentine's Day. So
That
Wednesday
sounds
through Saturday,
great.
we have dine-in from 3 till 8, and our carry-out begins at 11 on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and goes until 8, and then again on Saturday from 3 until 8. So all week
Okay.
long, you can celebrate Valentine's.
I think that sounds like a great idea. And maybe you can celebrate more than once. Heck, why not come Wednesday and Saturday, right?
Well, why not come all 4 days and do lunch too?
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, and of course, you can get that special to go too. So if you would like to be the hero around your table at work for your colleagues, that would be a good idea.
Sure.
You guys will
Just about
accommodate,
anything.
right?
Rep, we'll do anything you need. Absolutely.
Okay.
And our Our Wednesday special this week is chicken wild rice hot dish. So that's kind of another favorite that you could certainly get for your colleagues at work or bring home for dinner or lunch. And that's available starting Wednesday at 11.
All right. That sounds great. And let's talk desserts, too.
Oh, lots of dessert things. So the features this month for February are the strawberry pretzel dessert, red velvet cake, and a triple chocolate cheesecake. But we also have all of our regular things. Coconut cream, chocolate cream, a banana cream for the weekend, or for Friday, rather. We'll have cake, German chocolate cake. All of them. The turtle cheesecake, white chocolate raspberry, a few different ice cream desserts. We're going to have the raspberry sherbet ice cream dessert back for the rest of the month, and also the mint chocolate chip and peanut fudge. So lots to pick from.
Oh, my goodness. I was going to ask, what do you think is the overall favorite? But I don't even know if you can pick a favorite from that group.
Oh, it's really tough. Boy, yeah, they're all pretty favorites. I don't know what
Can't
the
pick
favorite
one.
is. They all sell well.
I just can't believe you have so many dessert choices, and that's every day that you're open. So
Every day
anyway,
that we're open, that's
yeah,
right.
looking forward to that. Mary, if we would like to order something ahead, how can we do that?
Just give us a call at 739-4633, and we'll take care of you.
Okay, Mary, you have a great week, and happy Valentine's Day.
Same to you. Thank
All
you.
right, bye-bye. Mary from the American Legion, 739-4633, if you'd like to get that order in. Oh, that sounds good, right?
Sounds excellent.
Yeah, rib basket, dessert.
I like the fact
for
they're doing it
two.
all week long.
All week long, I do too, because we all have stuff going on. I know for us this week, there's 3 basketball games. So that leaves you a few less nights to go out for dinner. And so you could do it on a different night if you want to. So that sounds great. So Valentine's Day is Friday? Friday. Okay. All right. Hey, I talked to somebody yesterday at church who read the book that I talked about, The Women.
Yep.
And she enjoyed it as much as I did.
Okay.
And I was glad. I sort of am glad I'm like this, but I don't see the twist coming. And I'm kind of glad because I watch TV with my husband and he'll say, "Oh, it's so and so."
So there's a twist in the book.
Well, yes, I would say.
Well, don't ruin it.
I'm not gonna. But anyway, I mean, there's kind of twists throughout. I mean, some things happen that you don't anticipate. And anyway, it ended really. It's not one of those books. Sometimes I get to the end of the book and I go, "Is that it? That's what I've been spending the last 3-4 nights reading, and that's the end." And those make me almost mad.
Yeah.
But this was just good through and through. So Kristen Hanna is the author, and The Women. So I wasn't the only one who loved it. So it was good to hear that feedback yesterday. So thanks for that. Well, let's see. Saturday Night Live. Are you a fan?
I was a big fan when I was a kid.
Yeah,
back when it was Dana Carvey,
when
Mike
it was
Myers,
funny.
Phil Hartman,
I agree.
all those guys. I really, really enjoyed it. I'll watch it off and on. I mean, obviously they get the stupid political humor. A lot of the skits are just not funny. The main thing I watch it for is kind of curious what the intro is going to be, and then I watch Weekend Update. That's about it. I mean, it really depends on who the host and the music guest is.
Yeah, my problem is I don't usually stay up late enough to watch it. But anyway, it did used to be really funny, and that has been the fun part about this 50th anniversary thing, because you get to go back and see some of those favorites that we used to think were the funniest.
Well, one of the things that they did a couple weeks ago, it was, ladies and gentlemen, it was 50 years of the music.
Oh,
and it had a lot of the
I did
inside
see
story,
that.
the music things. That was fascinating.
I saw
mean,
part
that
of
was
that.
that was really good. I enjoyed that.
Okay. Well, they are going to re-air the inaugural episode of Saturday Night Live, and it will be on February 15th, so Saturday. And that will be one day before the network's 3-hour special celebrating the show's 50th anniversary. So next Sunday is that 3-hour special. Might be kind of fun to tune in for some of that.
I'll probably watch that. I mean, the very first episode, if you don't know, was hosted by George Carlin.
1975.
So he's always been one of my favorite comedians, just because he just doesn't care. And it's
right.
It can be good, it can be bad, it can be a little preachy every once in a while, but I've always been a fan of Carlin. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing it.
He was featured, as you mentioned, George Carlin as the host. The cast included Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi, Chevy Chase, Jane Curtin, Garrett Morris, Lorraine Newman, and Gilda Radner. Now that was the lineup. So the original group.
The original not ready for primetime players.
Oh, they were hilarious. They were a great group. That's when it was funny. The show also had music from Billy Preston and Janice Ian, so some pretty big musical names there. Plus appearances by Andy Kaufman and Jim Henson. Andy Kaufman, remember how funny he was? Do you remember him on Taxi?
Yeah, but I mean, the Andy Kaufman skit, if I remember right, is Mighty Mouse.
I don't remember what the skit was, but
kind of stupid.
Well, the re-airing of is part of the show's 50th anniversary campaign, leading up to the anniversary special on February 16th, featuring a star-studded lineup, including Miley Cyrus, Paul McCartney, and Robert De Niro, who I now can't stand anymore after the last election.
Yeah.
It was such a knucklehead during that. Anyway, there were some. Do you remember any skits that were your favorites?
From the very first show?
Yeah, well, from early on, or anytime, I guess.
Oh, one of the ongoing things is the bees. The bees were kind of fun. Land Shark,
Coneheads.
Yeah, Coneheads was, I think, second season that one came in. I'm just trying to think of the first
But
season.
I think of Will Ferrell as the cheerleader.
Yeah, Will Ferrell to me is a lot like Jim Carrey. A little of him goes a long way.
I would agree. And I always thought, oh, I don't really like Will Ferrell all that much. But I did see kind of a compilation of the things that he had done on Saturday Night Live, and he was in some really funny stuff.
He was in the More Cowbell, the Don't Fear the Reaper, where
Yes.
he played the cowbell.
Yeah.
That was good.
He was hilarious in that.
I mean, my generation, Wayne's World was huge, where it had Mike Myers and
I
Dana
didn't
Carvey.
ever love Wayne's World. But how about Gilda Radner, I think, was maybe my favorite. Gilda Radner, Jane Curtin, just some really funny people. John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd. Really hard to beat those people, especially as they work together, I think.
I did like one of the things that came out on Ladies and Gentlemen was Lorne Michaels hated the Blues Brothers and thought it was just an absolute embarrassment. But they had like 3 extra minutes, it was about 2.5, 3 extra minutes. So he goes, "Okay, you guys, you can go out there and embarrass yourselves." And so they, dressed up as the Blues Brothers and went out and did the skit. And obviously it took off. It became huge, became a movie.
It did.
And so obviously Lauren had to eat crow on that. But yeah, it was, there was a lot of skits. To me, one of the things I always love are their fake commercials. The one I still remember, my absolute favorite. A lot of people like the Bassomatic, but for me, my absolutely...
That was pretty funny.
My absolute favorite fake commercial was Super Colon Blow. It was Phil Hartman, and they had you think your breakfast cereal's got a lot of fiber? Well, not even comparison to this. You need 52 million bowls of your cereal. And it was just, for some reason, the jingle that went along with it, with the Super Cold Blow you in the morning, the way it was saying, for some reason, I thought it was the funniest thing. Even to this day, I love it. Well,
there were some funny moments. And I guess anytime you can continue being funny and continue a show for 50 years, that's a pretty good run. And maybe it's just who we grew up with, kind of, on that show, and who we like the best, and things have changed so much.
I think that's the huge thing. It's got to be for me when I was younger. To me, that was the generation. Mike Myers, Dana Carvey. You've got Adam Sandler, Chris Farley, David Spade. That crew. I mean, that was the crew I grew up watching, and that was, to me, that was my favorite group.
Well, anyway, you're gonna see a lot of SNL this week. It's kind of their big week. I saw one of the broadcast channels was NBC is hosting something in the morning. It's kind of all week long, SNL. So you'll see a lot more of that coming up. How about this one? Just before the Super Bowl, authorities seized $39.5 million worth of fake sports merchandise. This year's Operation Team Player uncovered 214,507 counterfeit items like jerseys, hats, and more. It has become incredibly easy for criminals to create fake websites, online marketplaces, and social media ads offering deceptive deals with the sole intention of scamming sports fans. And if you are quick to click on, like, say you just look up something and you expect to go to that website and you see it in the headline, but you notice if you look a little deeper, you notice that it is not their home site and it takes you somewhere completely different. But if you are quick to click, you might get into the wrong site. But anyway, they have spent a lot of money, a lot of people across the country. There's the National Intellectual Property Rights Coordination Center. Who knew, huh? Anyway, since 2013, they say Operation Team Player has seized about $455 million worth of counterfeit merchandise. The center suggests that fans should stick to trusted retailers, be careful when shopping online, and check for poor quality. And by the time it gets to you, it often is way too late. Way too late, yeah. But it's easy to do. It's easy to look up something on Google and then maybe even a store or a product, and you see it come up and you just immediately click on it. But if you would have looked a little deeper, you would have seen that it was a website that you did not expect to go to. You wanted to go to their official website, and a lot of times it takes you to something very unofficial. Here's a Cocker Spaniel who rode a skateboard through a tunnel of more than 40 people. Of course, it was to set a new record. There's a Japanese dog trainer that trained Coda to ride underneath people who were standing with their legs open. Asano says she uses positive reinforcement to teach animals and discourages using punishment or other forms of negative reinforcement. And that's how you get dogs to go through a tunnel of 40 pairs of legs. I mean, do you just lay awake at night and think, gosh, how could I, get a new record? Was there a record for that to be broken?
I like to think that there wasn't a record. Interesting side note, the Guinness Book of World Records, obviously made by the Guinness Beer Company, was created to help settle bar bets.
Really?
Hey, I bet you such and such is this. Oh, no, I bet you such and such is this. Well, let's go to the Guinness Book.
Let's do it. Okay.
But that's how things got underway.
Okay. Well, here is another story. This one makes me just creeped. Australian man, he is called the Reptile Relocation Sydney after noticing 6 snakes in his yard, but nothing could have prepared him for what came next. Now, I would be freaked out if I saw 6 snakes in my yard.
I'm kind of worried when you say nothing could prepare him for what came next.
Here goes. Snake catcher Dylan Cooper removed a total of 102 pregnant and newborn venomous red belly black snakes from a pile of mulch. Oh,
wow.
I am done mulching anything. Just seeing that amount in one group gives you a bit of the shudders. No kidding, even reading about it. The snakes will be released into a national park far away from any possible human interaction.
The snakes will be released into a bonfire.
Wow. Yeah. Around my house, they would have. They're removing his mulch pile so no more snakes can gather there again.
Yeah. Australia,
Yuck.
where everything wants to kill you.
Oh, boy. My goodness. Okay. Here's one more crazy story that involves an animal. Canadian donkey Earl Grey is the name of the donkey. That's a great name for a donkey.
Basically, want to go out and have a tea.
Yeah. Fell in love with pushing a yoga ball around in his enclosure. Kind of reminds us of the Clydesdale pushing the beer keg. He was sad as the only donkey in the sanctuary, but his attitude turned around when he discovered a yoga ball to play with. Unfortunately, one day, of course, the ball popped. And a Home for Hooves sanctuary put out a call for donations 6 months ago. Overall, more than 40 yoga balls had been donated.
Pop a bunch.
Those yoga balls that you buy that you think you're going to use and exercise on.
Nobody does.
And never use. Yeah. And it's not like a It's not like a piece of exercise equipment that you can hang clothes on.
No. Well, you can deflate it.
Well, I suppose. So no reason to keep it. Anyway, over 40 balls were donated and 3 donkeys joined the sanctuary. So Earl Grey is no longer alone. We're absolutely thrilled that Earl is now part of the herd, and we're hopeful that Romeo's, Tango's, and Jenny's good manners will influence him positively. I think donkeys are so cute.
I have to laugh. Going back to that Clydesdale commercial where those who saw it during the Super Bowl, the little baby Clydesdale's pushing along this beer keg and it's kind of rolling it through everything. You want to know what was going through my mind during the whole thing?
I can't imagine.
I pity the person who's going to tap that keg because it's going to be nothing but foam and it's going to spray everywhere.
Only you would think about what that was doing to the beer. Oh, boy.
But then again, it's Budweiser or Bud Light, so it's not. We're not talking. It's ruining good beer. It's just ruining Budweiser.
All right. Well, I do have a feel-good story to wrap up today with. Pop-Tarts and Girl Scouts have paired up to create 2 new toaster pastries. Frosted Thin Mints and Frosted Coconut Caramel.
I need to try that for science.
Do you?
Yes.
Maybe. I don't like frosted Pop-Tarts.
I love
Never
frosted
have.
Pop-Tarts. Give me the
That
cherry
is like
frosted Pop-Tarts.
plastic melted onto a good... Why would you ruin a perfectly good Pop-Tart
Let's
by
face it,
putting that plastic icing on top?
It doesn't matter because it's not like the Pop-Tart itself is good for you.
No, that's true. But I used to love, they had brown sugar cinnamon.
Oh, that's a good one.
But without that garbage on top.
Oh,
It
you gotta
was
have
just
garbage.
a plain. But anyway, I don't think you can even buy them without.
If it's going to be unhealthy, let it be very unhealthy.
Oh, yuck. I just hate that frosting stuff is awful. Anyway, while the exact release date is unknown, the Thin Mints variety has already been spotted at Sam's Club on the website. Both are expected to make an appearance at grocery store chains nationwide, so you will definitely see them coming.
I'm just now realizing I missed my Girl Scout window, the cookie window.
Is it over?
I don't know.
I
but
never had one single Girl Scout cookie.
We normally have our head engineer, Tony, his daughter's in the Girl Scouts, and normally we can always tell when it's...
But usually you see them at the grocery store or something, and I haven't even seen that. Shoot.
Interesting.
Well, saved us a few calories, right? And a few bucks.
Exactly.
All right, that's going to do it. On a Monday, our show today is brought to us by Pioneer Care and by Fergus Falls Monument Company. Have a great Monday.